Start it. Alright, Poopa.
Fupa.
Supposed to say I'm Julian or something.
Oh.
Alright, it's all fucking ruined already.
Yeah,
Alright,
sorry.
restart.
I'm a very shy
No,
person.
just fucking let it.
All
One day
right,
we'll
I'm
get
Julian.
the intro. Oh, it's done. It's done. Fucking, we lost. Alright. So...
You give up easily?
No, we're still recording, so no. We just fucking suck at the intro. Well, me and Alex don't, or me and Chupa don't, because we've done it like 40 times, and there was like one time...
Fupa.
Yeah, Fupa. There was I think it was like when we started recording episode 4, before we had Oslet, we like started recording like 4 or 5 times and just couldn't. We kept fucking it up. And I kept saying I'm Fupa instead of I'm Poopa, and then we recorded like 40 minutes, and then we realized that we had a really good 20 minutes, but the last like 20 minutes were quite terrible. So we just deleted it. Oh, I didn't delete it. It's still there. I might like release like half of it, cut out the ending, or like maybe
Just
splice
release it
or
when you're
something
famous.
Yeah, release it when I'm famous. But we have like, there's like 3 recordings of us just like fucking up the beginning.
This is the raw
Pretty
shit.
badly. Yeah, you're getting the behind the scenes right now. Alright, so today I went to bed at 2 a.m. And then I woke up at like 5-ish, and I went, like rolling around in bed, you kind of fall asleep like 4 or 5 times in a row. I look out my window, and there is this giant black, like, cloud of smoke. Like, huge. And I guess something was on fire, just kind of like not right in front of my house, like maybe like 2 or 3 miles away, but it's definitely like in the view of my house, because we're kind of like on the top of a hill here. Apparently it was a recycling center. And a firefighter even got hurt. It's still going. There's still like white smoke. I don't know, but by the pictures, I saw the pictures of it, and it seems like some paper caught fire. The whole place looks like it's a recycling center. There's just a bunch of paper and cardboard. So what they really do is just like flick a cigarette, and the whole thing goes down.
I don't know, man. It's pretty difficult to light paper on fire, but just flicking a cigarette at it.
But what if it's like in boxes? Maybe it's like doused in fucking, I don't know, plasticky fucking flammable shit.
But it's also possible that people were recycling chemicals and something went wrong during the sorting process, something like that. Chemical fires.
Literally anything, yeah. But a firefighter got hurt apparently, so that's not cool.
How do you get hurt?
Fucking, I don't know. It just said, this is what it says. Spring Valley, California. A firefighter was injured while battling a blaze at a recycling center in Spring Valley Tuesday morning. Mounds of cardboard and other recyclables caught fire at this facility, and blah, blah, blah. Around 6:30 a.m., 4 firefighters were seen carrying the injured... They spelled seen wrong. Okay. Carrying the injured man away from the facility about an hour after the fire sparked. The firefighter could be seen sitting up and talking before being placed in the ambulance. The cause of the fire to start was under investigation. It was unknown if anyone else was injured. So, yeah.
I
Pretty
lost a
shit.
brother on that fateful day.
Yeah. What's that show called? I can't remember.
Rescue Me? It's
Yeah.
a very good show.
Literally, that's top tier recommendation right there. If you want a comfy and depressing show, simultaneously comfy and depressing, watch Rescue Me. I don't know if
What's
it's
it
still on
about?
Netflix. It's about post
firefighters
9/11
and womanizers and drug addicts.
Irish Italians. It's a
Black
post 9/11
Italian.
firefighter.
Black
TV show.
Irish.
It's really funny, like really funny, but it also like
Funny,
has, like, a lot
depressing
of
show.
very funny, very depressing, and it's kind of very real sometimes.
Make
Alright,
you
so it's
laugh.
pretty
It'll make
gritty
you
or
want to
what?
cry.
Wes cried and stopped watching it. He couldn't keep watching.
Jeez.
Why?
I think he said he identified too much with I don't remember his name, the lieutenant, Lou. I don't think Lou is not his name, right? Like that's short for lieutenant. Is
Yeah.
it? Yeah. So,
Shay. Or
yeah. He identified with him too much, and that was, there was like a...
why? Because he's fat?
Yeah, because he's fat, and he had like... he was trying to cut down his weight, and he felt like bad about it, and then he was, spoiler alert here, not that big of a spoiler, but because of his like weight and stuff like that, he was obviously less fit, and he could do his job very well, but he had trouble passing like the tests and stuff like that for like every like so often the firefighter. I don't know if it's like this for policemen. You have to pass the physical tests to see if you're physically fit to keep doing your job. So they don't want like some 400-pound firefighter or some like really small skinny guy that can't fucking do anything. And I guess he was trying to cut down on his weight because this guy, like, eating was sort of like his thing to make himself feel better because that was just like how he felt better. It's like half the people in the show drank a lot. The main character in the show is pretty much an alcoholic, despite him not like really admitting to it for most of the show, but he's a fucking alcoholic. And then he also like hallucinates and sees like Jesus and shit like that. It's a really weird show, but it's really good.
Gritty.
It's really long and it's on, I think it's on Netflix. It was on Netflix.
It is.
I don't know if it's
I have Netflix Europe, so I probably won't have it. But is it
on
Netflix
all
original?
the free sites? So no, it's not.
No,
you can find
it's
it streaming
on
online.
FX.
Right.
You can definitely find it streaming online.
I've actually been interested in watching Orange is the New Black. I've seen a few bits of that. It's any good?
So, Orange is the New Black is a good and horrible show at the same time. Do not come into the show expecting anything, and you will like it. It's the kind of show that you watch, like, it's literally, it is like a woman's show. So, like, just to fucking, it's just a woman's show.
What's
really
wrong with women's shows? I grew up watching, like, Charmed.
No, I mean, I fucking watched all of Grey's Anatomy. I watch women's shows all the time, or shows that are targeted towards women's. But Orange is the New Black is, like, the women's show. So, if you know that, and you're fine with that, and you go watch it, it's pretty good. But it's also really cringy sometimes, and sometimes they kind of, like, have, like, a political narrative, which is fine, but it kind of falls flat on its face. It's, like, too soapy and dramatic sometimes. Because the show is, it's a comedy, but, like, and Rescue Me is a very man show, too. Like, it's super masculine and, like, testosterone filled and shit. Despite, like, every episode, like, somebody having, like, a breakdown, but, like crying and shit, which is not very masculine, obviously. Orange is the New Black is, like, it, like, panders a little bit. I don't know. I like it, but it's kind of stupid at the same time. Don't take it seriously, and it's a good show. That's it.
That's always a good idea, to not take your entertainment too seriously.
But you can take, I don't know, yeah, I feel the same way about Grey's Anatomy, too. Grey's Anatomy, like, first 3 seasons are, like, really good, in my opinion. But if you take them seriously, they're terrible. Like there's, if you're fucking taking something like Grey's Anatomy seriously, like, just stop watching TV altogether. Obviously,
yeah, you should
like,
just turn off your mind and just keep watching.
All the shows like Grey's Anatomy, like, they fucking appeal to, like, the lowest common denominator. Like, they're literally poo-poo shows. They talk at, like, a 4th grade, like, reading level, and, like, oh, he broke up with me, and that stuff. But it's still entertaining.
Sometimes you just gotta turn it all off and pretend you're someone else.
Literally, yeah.
Just gotta identify with the lower classes, right, dude?
Basically. I don't know, Rescue Me is, like, really blue-collar, too. Like, super, like, not lower class, but, like, working man, sort of.
Yeah, but you can have, like, something be blue collar and still be, like, emotionally appealing. It's not like everyone has to use, like, the highest level of, what's it called again, vocabulary all the time. Like, the show is obviously about people that work kind of blue collar jobs, so that's okay. I mean, it fits the tone.
Don't most, like, TV shows, aren't they, like, required to get, like, a middle school, like, vocabulary, kind of like the newspaper?
Yeah, I don't remember where I read this. It was I know I've read it before, but there was also a documentary, and the thesis of the documentary was essentially TV makes you dumber, which is a bit asinine of it. Nobody's watching TV to be smart, okay? Like, but
still, you learn more about the world, and yeah,
you do, and it opens your mind. Like, it may not make you intellectually smarter, or like you'll have a better vocabulary,
but a better cultural understanding.
Yeah, you'll just be more open to things. But yeah, they were saying on that show that the vast majority of TV is meant for a 4th grader, or no, not 4th grader, a 4-year-old to understand, which makes sense.
Of course, that's the biggest audience.
Well, not only that, but like you don't want to alienate any of your fucking people. Even if you have like a super smart or like a show that like tries to appeal to smart people, like it's still not really appealing to smart people. It might be its target audience, but it's still going to try to grab everybody, and that's why they have those like levels. Like that's why it's so quote unquote dumbed down. Or that's what this movie was claiming.
How about Star Trek?
What are you gonna do? I don't know. That's a good question. Star Trek doesn't... I mean, I don't watch Star Trek, but I've seen a few of the original Star Trek and some of the newer ones. Seems to be pretty highbrow.
When I was a kid, I remember not understanding the fucking holodeck. Like, I used to think that it was like a time machine because I could not read the Dutch subs because I was too young to read, but I did watch the show.
I'm regretting not watching Star Trek as like a child because it made it really hard for me to get into it now. Because it's like it like requires not dedication, but like you need to be like sucked into it and like really enjoy watching it, and you need to sit down and pay the fuck attention to it.
You only watched the original season, right, dude? The original? Yeah. I think you should really start watching with the Next Generation, because when I was older, I only got into it once I started with the Next Generation. It's got more self-contained stories with a longer storyline, character development taking like a back seat. And it really sucks you into the universe, and it builds it up really well. It explains how everything is related and interacts.
Probably better.
Go watch Stargate. That shit's pretty cash too.
We were talking... Me and Chupa always talk about this, but we were talking about this on Badcast, how our brains are like fucking kind of rotten now that we're older. Like, we just can't, like, sit and do things without, like, having to do, like, 3 things at once. And then
you're playing Overwatch and...
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm playing Overwatch and doing, like, this right now, when I should probably just be sitting here, like, Googling articles. And I am Googling shit right now, too, while playing. Like, I'm playing Overwatch poorly, I can't fucking talk. But I feel like if I just didn't, like, do something right now while recording this...
You'd be a waste. Yeah, I feel like that as well,
Like when you're a kid,
when I was a kid, I started playing MMOs, and I started doing other shit on the side. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I've been very bothered by this because I feel like if I spend a lot of time and I dedicate to something, even if it's something like a consumer hobby, like playing video games for 5 hours straight, I feel good about myself. I feel like I've achieved something. And lately, I've been feeling like my attention keeps like dropping, jumping to all kinds of subjects. Keep doing stuff in between, and I just get bored by everything. So I've been making a point to try and focus on a single activity at once for like the past couple of months.
I think that's
my second monitor, I've turned it off and I've taken it away. Yeah, because you're focusing something, you're getting more out of it.
Like, I think that's why it feels so good when you're like stuck in this sort of like I need to be doing something all the time mindset. I think that's why it feels so good to read a book.
Yeah.
It feels so like your mind just feels like really clean. But the reason why I brought this up though is because I think that's why I have trouble watching the original Star Trek, and I have trouble watching a lot of older shows and older movies and stuff like that too, because they have these long drawn out scenes like specifically Twilight Zone is like this. They'll have these scenes where they talk for like in Twilight Zone each episode is like I think
it's pretty keynote at Twilight Zone.
Like an hour.
Is it an hour?
The Twilight Zone.
That,
whatever.
or 45 minutes.
Scenes where they talk for 5-10 minutes straight.
The original series is 30 minutes, and the 90s Twilight Zone is like 45.
Okay, so for the old one, 30 minutes. They'll have scenes where they talk for 5 minutes. And it sounds really stupid saying this and hearing myself say it, but go watch any movie now. Any movie. Go watch any movie. Record how long they talk before some sort of conflict or some sort of shift in the scene happens. It's like a minute. It's not even close to 5. Sometimes it's 20 fucking seconds before they switch the camera here or somebody else chimes in.
Yeah, but you're talking like Marvel movies. Have you ever seen a Lars von Trier movie?
I don't know movie name or like movies by directors, but if you name some, I might be able to.
Antichrist.
No, I haven't. I don't know. Let me look it up.
You could look it up, but you'd be losing Overwatch.
I already got booted for fucking AFK. I've seen Antichrist. Antichrist was fucking... That was like a meme movie. Okay. But I did not want to see William Dafoe doing those things to a woman. No, but even in that movie is an example too. But that movie is fucking action packed though. Like it may be long and drawn out, but there's a lot of shit that happens in that movie.
Sure,
Twilight
sure.
Zone
I'm sure
episode?
that's why the Witch probably got like really shitty reviews,
Yeah.
like user reviews. I think most of that fucking movie was literally them talking for the whole
that movie,
like 2
though.
hours.
Even in that movie, though, there was always scene shifts. There was always people escalating the conversation up and down. And I mean, obviously, you have to have that in like anything to make it entertaining. But if you go back and you watch like Twilight Zone or even the original Star Trek or any old thing, like Alfred Hitchcock, if you want to go back a little bit more, they have scenes where they talk for like 3 minutes straight, and they're just talking like we are right now about one thing.
Well, I guess that's just because the attention span keeps decreasing over generations. Like, I used to think that's a meme, but honestly, I think that people just get fucking drawn into stuff easier, so people keep competing against each other to keep their stuff being more, to keep attention to their stuff, like, more and more. I think this is, like, a legit result of the smartphone generation thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Even, yeah, that's actually it. And I think, and this is sort of like my bias looking backwards, but since you mentioned smartphones, I think that is kind of when it started for me, at least. Because I remember being able to sit down on the floor in front of like my console and just stare at the TV and play for like 4 hours. Play a single player game. Not talk to a single fucking human being for 4 hours, 5 hours, even 10 hours when I really got sucked into something.
Yeah, these days I just sit in front of a console and I just have Steam on my mobile phone and I'll just talk to people in the night and pausing all the time. It's fucked up, man.
It's really like you sat down and you played a game for 3 hours, but you really only played for like an hour and a half because you were pausing and doing other shit. And that
exactly.
And then I remember later on when Xbox Live on 360 became like, everybody had it, or they had PlayStation or whatever. But I remember having to always be in an Xbox Live party. Like I always had to be in one. I always had to hear somebody talking on top of my game, or else I was extremely bored.
I know the feeling. Like, I used to play tons of MMOs, and I just played music on top of them all the time, or watch YouTube videos next to them.
I think music is fine, because it kind of takes like a backseat.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have to, like, have one thing on. Like, I can't even listen to music and play video games.
Yeah, but you do it all the time.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't listen to music when I play video games.
I'm jealous.
I have to. Okay, the only time I don't listen to music is when I'm probably playing solo queue in Dota at really late hours, and the teams are all fucked up, and there's like 2 6Ks in the game, or 2 people who shouldn't be there because I'm queuing at 4 a.m. Then I have to like focus because now I gotta watch for this guy because he's playing on a level that I can't even understand.
Yeah, I only don't play music in competitive games, but that's because it takes so much of your focus that it's alright.
I think sometimes, I think it's proven that music will also help you focus. But I think that depends on the type of music you're listening to as well.
You know about
that's like with like classical music or something.
No, I'm sure if you put on like electronic music, it should help you focus. Music with the lyrics not taking the front seat. Like I can't do fucking homework and listen to any rap music at all, because then I've got like 2 streams of like information coming in. The trying to like hear the words, and I'm also trying to do whatever I'm doing.
Like rap instrumentals are fine, but do you guys know about Muzak?
No, what is that?
It's a company from like the 40s and 50s in America. They make all those like jazz tunes you hear in elevators in movies about the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. All those are made by that company, and they sold certain LPs because they put out a few studies where they showed that like factory workers, if you played music in the background of their factory shifts, they would work harder.
Reading about that.
Yeah, Frank Jeff C did a video on it, ironically, but it was pretty good. It would give the workers a sense of progression and a sense of tempo, like something to follow, something to work at. And the sense of progression is also important because it makes it feel like you're actually going somewhere instead of just doing the same thing at a fucking production line all day.
See, I was literally just going to say, before you even said that, and I've never heard of what you're talking about until just now. I was gonna say that sometimes when I listen to faster paced music while I'm playing like Dota, I'm more focused and I kind of like play faster. Like I can noticeably tell that my APM goes up because I'm clicking a lot more and I'm kind of like tuned into the pace of the music. Whereas if I'm playing more relaxing music, my APM is slower, I'm clicking less, but I'm sort of also like more in tune with what's actually happening. Like I'm not like, I don't get like tunnel vision if I'm listening to relaxing music. I'll play like more conservatively. And obviously these are like probably like not completely true, but you
It's all a matter
definitely
of
feel it a
perspective.
little bit. You feel it. There's some sort of like
Yeah, your
placebo there
senses
that
just
exists. You
your
kind of
senses
just
just
relax.
see it as a thing that like they see it as a part of your current activity because music isn't it isn't a natural thing, of course. It's something we created, and your senses probably see it as part of the activity you're currently engaged in. You know, so it blends together in your mind.
Also, I've been playing CS:GO a lot lately. Well, not lately, but like a couple weeks ago, I was playing it like every day, once or twice a day. And I started putting my music on in the game, not like my own music, but putting the in-game music packs and stuff like that. Now, before the bomb is about to explode, the music pack will usually turn on and it'll start to hype you up and shit. And I noticed all like, just like fucking like, oh, I'm like, my blood is like racing. I know we can defuse the bomb, but when that music comes on, or I know we can't do it sometimes, but when that music comes on, it's like, okay, fuck, I gotta do it. Like, you get like kind of motivated to just start going, start fucking running around and doing some big ass plays.
Yeah, you start to get confidence, I guess.
Yeah, it pushes you. But if I listen to something relaxing, I also play differently. Now I don't know if I play better or worse because I don't think you can figure that out yourself. Probably need like a controlled study with like 100 people,
Yeah, for sure.
and it probably can't do it on video games.
No, probably something like stacking cups.
Yeah, something like that, or like counting something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Some
sure
sort
it
of
works for
simple
me
math.
because I used to have a job that's quite repetitive, and I know that I would work at a tempo, and I would actually get work done faster.
I think
But like
also it
intellectually
helps you
demanding
with time
stuff,
management because like
yeah,
if you're sitting there and not listening to anything, like this happens to me a lot when, and I'm sure people know what I'm talking about, when you play a video game for 4 or 5 hours, and when it's a video game like Dota 2 or any sort of like multiplayer game where your time, like the way that you're noticing time is based on the beginning of the match and the end of the match. So when I listen to music, it kind of like the time passes a lot faster, but it also gives me a better sense of how long the game's actually been, though. And that doesn't really make sense. So like it'll feel like the game has been like a 40-minute game will feel like it's been 10, 20 minutes because I'm listening to music, but I'll know that it was still actually 40 minutes. Whereas if I'm not listening to music, I will feel the time pass a lot slower, and I will actually know, like I won't actually know until I look at the time that it's really only been 20 minutes because
What
it's
is not
just
No,
so
I know
listening
what
to
you
quiet.
music?
mean. I do that with homework. And I like gauge how long I've been working on my homework for.
Also, I think because if like we were talking about like how we need to be like super busy all the time, like our minds need to be like fucking
Fully
filled
engaged.
with feces and stupid shit all the time. I think when you listen to music, it kind of like fills you up a little bit, but not like too much.
Yeah, it makes it a bit easier to meet your attention span quota, so to speak.
Without like destroying the task that you're doing. Because like usually if you're like watching TV and doing something or watching a video and doing something, like whatever you're doing is now like shit. It's just not going to be as good as if you weren't.
Actually, I wanted to mention for this podcast, I decided to just put TeamSpeak full screen, focus on nothing else, don't touch my mouse. So, and that's been working out quite well because normally I'd be a bit less talkative.
There you go. That's probably why I'm stuttering and stopping so much, because I'm fucking playing Overpoop right now. I'm playing it very terribly, and I have not won a single game since I started this.
Maybe you should stop, try what I'm doing. It honestly feels relieving, honestly.
It's like reading a book, right?
Like reading a book. Except you're
Alright.
doing a productive activity instead of a consumer activity.
Alright, I closed Overwatch. Let's do this. Alright, let's see how long we've been going. All right, I want to ask everybody about the Olympics. Does anybody give a shit about the Olympics?
Nope.
Not really.
I've never cared for sports. My country is big on football. And I don't give a shit.
So I was watching Scooby. You know who Scooby is? Alex, I know
Yeah.
who Scooby is.
Yeah.
So
I've
people don't
known
know
about him
Scooby
for like
is.
10 years.
I think his name is Scooby 1961, something like that. I'm gonna go look it up.
Yep, exactly that. You're right.
It is? Okay. So Scooby put a video up. If you haven't seen Scooby, go look him up right now. Scooby 1961. And
He's a fitness guy.
he's a fit guy.
He's natty.
He's pretty old. He's homosexual. He's bald, and he wears fedoras and a bunch of weird hats. Now, he's extremely tongue-in-cheek, so don't take him seriously. He knows, like, I don't know if he has, like, Asperger's or whatever, but he's just, like, a goofy guy, and all of his videos are, like, half-hearted. Like, so when he's acting weird, he knows what he's doing. He's not, like, actually autistic. And they're pretty good for home workout shit. But he always makes videos, too, about his opinions on, like, steroids and fitness and kind of, like, random things. So he did a video on the Olympics. He basically said nobody gives a shit about the Olympics. Fuck the Olympics. It's like a big sham. Everybody kind of knows the Olympics is pretty corrupt.
Right. But do people actually dislike the Olympics or stop giving a shit about the Olympics because of the steroids? Like, I don't give a shit about the Olympics because there's way more engaging things out there for me to be engaged in other than the Olympics.
Yeah, that's basically how I feel too. But the point that he was making he made about like 3 points. The main one was because everybody's using drugs, there's really nothing special. Every year there's always a new Olympic record broken. It's not really that big of a deal because it always happens, and it's probably because everybody's using drugs. Number 2, he also said that they keep adding new sports, and a lot of them are like retarded, and they don't really belong in an Olympic setting. Now this guy is sort of, I think, conservative when it comes to like sports and stuff like that, so he likes to keep things very basic. Which
sports are not real.
Yeah, basically that kind of person. And he was saying that I think golf is also going to be an Olympic sport. I don't know how the fuck you... Okay, so if you don't like golf...
Golf is a game, not a sport.
Golf is... I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I don't know how to describe what golf is. I mean, I think it's a sport, but I don't really know if it is. If you can
I think
really...
golf is
officially it's a sport.
Oh yeah, obviously
to be
it's a sport,
fair,
but like...
I think Olympic sports should be things that aren't competitive. Like, they're competitive in what scores you get, but like they shouldn't be competitive as a thing you do against another person, you know?
I mean, just because
So,
it's
like,
a sport
swimming and
doesn't
stuff
mean
like
it
that.
should be in the Olympics.
But the point he was saying, basically, they keep adding all these sports, and it kind of dilutes what like the core principles of the Olympics are, which is like running, jumping, sprinting, etc. And he also made like a third point. I don't know if he meant it kind of seriously because it's kind of hard to rate him sometimes. But he's saying they should say, you know what, fuck all these drugs, like just let everybody do drugs, like just let them all do the drugs. And I hear people talk about this for UFC and boxing a lot, and other sports like football, baseball.
Smoke a rock or crack for your game.
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
So what he was saying is, and I liked what he said. He said, I don't know if it's realistic. It might be a little crazy, but it sounds interesting. He's saying, let everybody do drugs, and let the companies who make the drugs like sponsor the teams and the players and whatever, and like if they like get a gold medal, they get like 10 points. If they get like a bronze or whatever or silver, they get like a certain amount of points.
5 and 1.
But if their athlete drops dead, they lose like 100 points. So I kind of like that idea.
They lose 10 hours of screen time.
Yeah,
The commercials.
I kind of like that idea. Besides the dropping dead part,
Then drugs would have to be illegal. Honestly, performance enhancing drugs aren't usually illegal.
Well, the thing is especially with bodybuilding,
It'll be the Olympic guinea pig run. I don't know.
That's what it is, right? They just don't
It
say.
kind of is.
The thing is most of the drugs that they're on are either they're not legal or illegal. They're
They're yet to be
they're-
legal. Research
so
chemicals,
new.
etc.
Yeah, and they don't show up in the blood work yet. They haven't found ways to find them, and this is for bodybuilding especially. I think the most popular like steroids that top tier bodybuilders use, it like leaves your blood like immediately, so it's essentially almost impossible to find. And they all just use it, but they can't find it, so they're all natural bodybuilders, but they're not. So what's the point? Like, they're not natural bodybuilders. You're classifying them as natural bodybuilders, and there's really no way for you to know for sure. I mean, they're obviously not. Look how big they are. That's fucking insane. Like, a guy can't have, just look at any top-tier bodybuilder from 2000 on, and I'm sure obviously before that. Look at all the recent ones. They have, like, fucking body fat percentage
They're
of
double the mass.
Double the mass, and they have, like, body fat percentage of, like, 5%.
Actually, the fucking steroid use has been going on since, like, the 70s, so...
Yeah. But I think it was also different back then, too. But there's still bodybuilders in the 60s who are fucking huge, and they don't know why. I mean, it's probably just genetics, but... all of them now use steroids. Like, there's no way that you can get to the size that they're at now and use lots of drugs and lots of steroids and lots of human growth hormone and lots of everything under the sun. So why not just let them all use it and, like, let them be honest? And Scooby was basically saying that they'd probably be safer that way, too. Because then everybody would be on board with it.
Of course, then there'd be, like, safety. People would know.
And
like, core principle of, like, drug use.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't give a shit about the Olympics. I didn't know that the Olympics were even happening until I just looked it up after that video. I knew they were coming, but I didn't know when they were coming.
It's Brazil. In Brazil.
Yeah, that I knew because I saw the headlines for just all the problems that usually come when they host the Olympics in a country like Brazil. Shout out to Monica in the room above us.
So, actually, I've been saying that for years. Do you guys know about the Tour de France?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, for all the American viewers that don't know, the Tour de France is like a huge thing in Europe. Just like the Giro d'Italia, where they take like a huge trip to France on bike. It's like a road biking competition. So we've had this winner, Lance Armstrong. He was like a hero of the people kind of deal. Tons of documentaries about him. Everyone's always a fan of him. And he finally got busted for dope usage. And all of his like 6 trophies, he placed first in like 6 different years. All of them were taken away. And that sparked a huge dope debate over here in Europe. Like,
yeah, that was a big deal here too. Because Lance Armstrong, I don't know if you guys had this fad, but around the time, about 10-ish years ago, maybe 10 to 7 years ago,
8.
Every single person and their mother and their brother and their sister was all wearing these fucking wristbands that all said
well, that's because he was an American. Like,
yeah, he was like an American hero.
I thought he was UK.
Is he?
Nah, he's from
No, he's American, I'm pretty sure.
Always Americans bringing their druggies into their fucking European.
Every single person was wearing an Armstrong wristband. It was for cancer. Everybody was wearing them, and you see them on the commercials, you see them fucking everywhere, and you see Live Strong on, you see celebrities wearing it and shit like that. I don't know if you guys had it there, but that was like a really popular thing. So when this doping thing came out, a lot of people were like, oh, that sucks.
It's still a fad here today, but they make like bands of everyone and everything.
Yeah. I don't think people wear Live Strong anymore, but they have lots of... The more recent one were... I don't remember what it was called. I Love Boobs or whatever. That was for like a breast cancer one.
Oh yeah, that was like fucking middle school shit.
That was late middle school, but when I was in the 5th grade.
So how many years ago?
Was like really... dude, I don't know how to count years anymore. It's just, that's one of those things that like you get a little bit... Like once you like get
2006
past, like 18,
or something like that.
The I Love Boobs things was probably about 2008 or 9, but the Live Strong thing was 2006, 5, 7, something like that.
Yeah, for certain.
But do you know how intricate his doping thing was? Because it was pretty crazy how weird and the lengths that they went to do stuff besides doping. They did that weird thing where they like clean out their red blood cells or something. I don't know how that works. Where they like oxygenate their blood or whatever, and it makes you feel like revitalized. They were doing this like on the way to these competitions. Like they would be on a bus and they would all be together, and their team or whatever would be like on this like bus, and they would all be like cycling their blood with oxygen and stuff like that, like on the way to the place. And this oxygen thing, you can't really... I mean, I guess you can test for it, but I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's like very reliable or whatever. But that was also one of the other things that he was doing. And they I think they found ways to do it while cycling as well. I don't know how the fuck they did that, but I remember they had, when this came out, there was this big thing on NPR that they were doing, or not NPR, see? Now I can use this. I don't know what the fuck to call it, though, now. It was on the radio, and they were talking about this, and they were talking about
on an
how...
NPR program?
I don't know what it was, because I don't remember fucking what the program names are, but it was on the radio, and they were talking about how they went to these great lengths to, like, just put more oxygen in their blood. I might be wrong. It could not. Maybe it's not oxygen in their blood, but they're basically doing something with their blood that allowed them to feel refreshed, and it gave them lots more energy. And it wasn't like they were putting drugs. They were just doing something that your blood normally does, but they're doing it like a lot more. They would do it like while they were they found ways to do it while they were cycling. They would do it like on the bus to the competition. Like they would be like in their bus doing it, like waiting to start the competition. They were just doing like all sorts of like fucking any way they could get that little edge, they would do it.
Hey guys, I just found this cool new way to get a cool high. You just inject blood into air. You just inject air into your bloodstream.
Oh yeah. And you want to make some really cool crystals too, and just go get some bleach. And
drink
I don't remember the other component.
Bullshit out.
Have you seen that copy pasta or whatever?
Yeah,
you get the straw
like
and the bleach and
7B.
Fucking people tried it too. But yeah, it was stupid because when the Lance Armstrong thing came out and they were talking about it, they're saying everybody's doing this. You're not going to find a single team or player or athlete or whatever that isn't doing this in bicycling. There's no way. Because they can't keep up with the other guys doing it, so they have to do it. There's nothing you can do. Like you can't be like, oh, I want to be like a famous athlete that's not going to do drugs.
You're going to go natty.
You're going to get wrecked. That's it. You're going to lose unless you're some fucking genetic freak. It doesn't matter how much you practice. You have to, because the other guy's going to practice just as hard as you, but now he's going to be on drugs. You got to jump.
I don't know, man. I think it's pretty stupid.
What?
It's
the whole
not
thing?
natty anymore. What's the point? I don't see like the Olympics being like that cool. Kind of like what Scooby said.
I think if you're going to do drugs, it's fine. You just need to be honest about it, because it shouldn't really take away from how hard you work. I'm sure the natty guy in the 50s, or whatever, before they started using drugs more often in the 50s and 60s, and obviously all the Olympics before that or whatever, I'm sure all those natty guys worked just as hard, if not less hard, than the guys who work out now, even though they take drugs now. But it's just that there's like this pretending that we're not taking drugs. It's kind of stupid. I think it makes people turned off to it too. If they were just honest about what they took, then people could be like, okay, like now let's have an honest discussion about how dangerous steroids and all these performance enhancers are.
I don't know, man. I don't think I'd care either way.
I don't think I would either. I'm just not into sports like that. I like to watch things that are entertaining to me. Things that are comfy, like baseball. I don't give a shit about baseball. I just like watching baseball. I don't know anything about baseball. You watch it, you fucking sit there, and they're just like, Andy's coming in. Like, baseball is like fucking public radio of sports. That's what baseball is. Everybody's like whispering. They're just sitting there eating peanuts and throwing shit on the floor. And even the people who are playing, even the baseball players look like they're just kind of bored, a little bit bored. They're just kind of...
Of course they're bored, but they get it a lot, so...
Yeah. And they're just, you look at them, the guys on outfield, like, if nothing, so they're spitting. Some of them are just like staring at the sun and like picking flowers. And they're all literally wearing pajamas, so... Shout outs to Michael Savage. Okay. Bunch of men running around with sticks and balls in their pajamas. I don't know anybody can watch this crap. Fucking. Remember
I just
listening?
want you to go out and Google Bartolo Colon. That's
What?
an athlete in America.
And before it's like an eating competition.
He's this fat baseball player. One of the first times I ever sat down and like really watched baseball was the first time that he ever hit a home run in his entire
Bartolo
career.
Colon?
Yeah, that was like one of the first things I watched was him hitting the home
Was
run.
that
I
against
think
the
it was
Padres?
I think so. It was either the Padres or the Dodgers or something. And the whole crowd went crazy, and it was kind of like a slow game, like usual. And the casters were like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And I'm like, he just hit a home run like the last 7 guys. And they're like, "Oh my god! Oh, he did it! First time ever!" And I'm like, "What is happening?" And they started explaining.
The guy's been playing like since before we were alive.
He's been playing since like
once
the
I
late
get to
70s or
Padres.
something.
Jeez.
He's a big fat guy. He's a pitcher, but he's not even like a top tier pitcher. He's like a second. I don't know.
Why
what
did
the
they
fuck to
keep
go.
him in?
Just, I guess he's good.
He's
He's not
good.
a bad player, but like he's a pitcher, so he's not going to hit home runs, and he's also a kind of
mean-
big guy too.
Right.
For you.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit.
Memed.
I guess I walked into that. All right, Dota 2 International starts right now. I think. Does it?
Once doping for video games going to be a thing?
I know in ESL they have drug testing for CS:GO.
Don't they? Don't they
Jeez.
have like Adderall like abusers?
There were some rumors of Adderall abusers, and
I
there
used
were people.
Adderall and
admitting
caffeine
to
when I
using
played
Adderall.
video games. COD 4, played on a high level, clan base.
I heard interviews with pro players saying that it actually doesn't really make that much of a difference. Adderall.
It definitely
For
helps with your
CS:GO.
attention.
It helps with your attention, but what he was saying is if you're already a pro player, those things don't exist for you. You don't have attention problems while playing CS:GO because you are
live
essentially
CS:GO.
CS:GO the person. So
Do you know that part where you get into, or that feeling where you totally get into the zone, and moving a character in a video game just feels as natural to you as like moving in your own body. Like the video game becomes an extension of your own body.
yeah, I mean that's basically what he was saying. It helped him concentrate for longer, so he didn't burn out on the game. That's what he said that helped. But he said when it came
helps
to
during
game
training.
day, that's basically what he said. He said that it wouldn't really affect you on like taking Adderall at during a tournament would probably like fuck you up because you'd just be too nervous, and it would also make you more nervous. But
Jittery.
training on it helped him.
You generally get the jitters when you take Adderall or too much caffeine.
Start grinding.
Like
the
if you
teeth,
take 10
too.
cups of coffee, it's the same. It's the same as a low dose of Adderall.
Yeah, I notice when I'm super caffeinated, I don't play video games as well. Jittery.
Yeah, that's why I don't drink coffee.
Coffee like affect you a lot?
You want to be hardcore?
No, I just don't like it.
No. Does caffeine affect you a lot? Trooper?
Yeah, a little.
It
does?
affects me hardcore. I become a nervous wreck,
Yeah, I have.
and I start sweating.
I have like
fucked
really
up.
bad anxiety, so it doesn't help with it.
And the only thing that really gets me jittery is if I have 2 cups of some really strong black tea. And that is not fun. That is actually like really not fun. Your brain starts to get cloudy and you feel this sort of like it's just like a weird if you've ever had like a headache that was like sort of on your frontal lobe, like one of those headaches that it's not like a headache, it's just
It feels
you know
like
what I'm talking
throbbing.
yeah, it's kind of throbbing. It's kind of like the front of your
Yeah.
head is just kind of like there's
That's
like a
that's a
wave
stimulant. Calm
of-
down.
of like your like the front of your head is pulsating. That's what you
like
feel.
yeah,
But
that's
you
a
can't
stimulant.
think
Calm
straight.
down.
And then you also get really. I remember there was about 2 weeks where every day I would drink an amp energy, and I would rage so much at Dota. I would get so fucking pissed off. But it was only like 2 hours after I drank the amp, and sometimes I would drink 2 amps. And this was before I really started drinking tea or coffee at all. So the coffee, like, or the caffeine and all the other stimulants in it, like, really fucking hit me hard. And I would get so pissed off at the game. And I was like, and I started thinking, like, why the fuck am I getting this angry? And I realized it was just the come down from that. I would get that frontal lobe headache, and everything would be so irritating to me.
Yeah,
Everything would
that's
just
definitely
fucking
coffee.
tick me off.
That's why
So
people get addicted to that stuff, man. That's caffeine addiction.
I think
for
I'm
you.
addicted to coffee. I have a coffee every day now, but I don't.
Oh sure, I have 2 in the morning, one in the evening.
Okay, so you're like a fucking crackhead right now.
Yeah, especially like it's probably due to my family because I take espresso. My mother does too. There's like little shots of coffee, but they're extremely intense.
I like the feeling that I like the stimulation that tea gives you a lot more.
Yeah, but that's because like
It's more mellow. It's also longer. The caffeine in
it has
tea is
theanine,
supposed to.
theanine in it. Like I've actually researched this. Like tons of people on research chemical and nootropic forums. Like drugs are kind of my interest. They actually have research on this because people that want to have better attention spans, etc., they take tea, or like normally people would take caffeine pills, but they take caffeine pills mixed with theanine, which is like a substance that's only found in tea. And what it does is it like makes you a lot calmer while also being a lot more active. So it's like a mix that isn't found naturally in tea, but you can get it in pill form, and it actually works really great in helping people's attention spans and anxiety problems.
Now,
helps for workouts as well, I heard.
I'm going to ask you this question, and you might be able to find out what the name of this whatever chemical or drug or whatever you want to call it is called.
Right.
They put it in dietary supplements for green tea supplements. It might be what you're talking about, but I recall one time I took a dietary supplement. I was like in the 8th grade. I was just like, oh, green tea, caffeine thing, okay, and I just put it in my mouth. And I took another one after, like 2. And this shit kept me up for 24 hours. I didn't feel tired at all. And started researching it, and it made me very jittery and very paranoid initially. Then later on, I just was wide awake.
There's caffeine in that.
No, but it wasn't the caffeine, though. The caffeine is what made me jittery initially. There was this other substance in it, and I think they put it in energy drinks. Now, the way this thing is released, it's not like caffeine. Caffeine, when you take it, it's released in, like right away. 2-3 hours tops for how long caffeine lasts. This thing releases in sort of like waves, and you get it every 2 hours. It'll release slowly, and then it'll start again and release slowly.
Taurine.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Taurine. No, not taurine. No, it's not taurine. I gotta look it up. They always mix it with taurine as well. It's something else. It might be taurine. I might not be remembering. But the way this worked is it was sort of like, it was just better than caffeine in every way because you never got the jitters. Nope. It's one of those, though. It's another one. I gotta look it up.
All right, let me look up the Red Bull fucking list of things. Guarana.
That's what it is. It's guarana.
Yeah, I think guarana is in ginseng as well.
Is it? Fuck, dude, I don't know what it is. It might be guarana, but it's one of those. And the thing is it releases very, very slowly, and it can last like 12 fucking hours in your body. So if you want to stay up, go get some guarana. Or
Monsters have like energy drinks with extra guarana in it.
Yeah, I think they all do. Because you always see them at the top of the rim where they say taurine, guarana, B12.
No, that's just Monster.
caffeine.
I'm pretty sure guarana isn't in.
It's in Rockstar too.
In Rockstar. Oh, I have never had that, but I'm pretty sure it's not in Red Bull. I don't have energy drinks anymore though. I haven't had one in like 4 or 5 years.
I used to drink them when I was younger.
I don't think they taste that great.
I think Amp is the only one that I like, and some of the Rockstar ones. The last time I had a lot of energy drinks, and this was the last time I drank it, is I drank 2 Rockstars, like the tall ones, and it was like freshman year of high school, and then I played, like, we were playing some football, and the fucking pain that I got in my kidneys was so terrible because I had just drank too much too quickly, and I was just moving around too much, and it was sort of like, you know, when you drink too much water, that type of cramp, but it was in my kidneys, and it was in both of them. And I could feel it, like my body was just like, stop moving, go drink water, go to sleep. It was horrible. So I haven't drank really energy drinks like daily or regularly since then, because that was fucking terrible.
Since I was in high school, like when I was in high school, energy drinks were like a meme around here. The Euro Shopper like energy drink. It's like still a meme in Finland, but yeah, it was huge. And when I was like 11, 12, I played hardcore MMOs like all day. And at one point, I had like 30 cans of 33 centiliters of energy drink in a single day. So a whole tray of it, like 30 fucking cans. And that was the most scary shit ever, because I stayed up for like 4 days in a row. And at the 4th day, I started hallucinating because of the lack of sleep.
Jesus. I've had that too, stay up for about a day and a half. And when you're trying to like stay up, or like, you know, that like, and I guess everybody has this, but like, you know, when you're like falling asleep and there's like that in between your dream or in between asleep and awake, there's like that moment where you feel like you're falling, or where sometimes we'll just hear like a loud kaboom. And it's just fucking nothing. It's just your brain.
Oh, that's actually disorder. I have it too. That's like
Is that I feel like everybody has that though.
It's like either a gunshot or like a B horror movie to your scream.
Yeah, no, it's usually like a gunshot for me, or like it's just a I don't know how to describe it. Like it's not there, so there's nothing I can really yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like an explosion. It sounds like a really loud explosion in like an echo chamber, but it only
It's
echoes like twice.
always a gunshot or a scream, like an intense scream, like a horror movie scream, like a woman screaming "Ee!" the top of her lungs.
So when I stay up for a long time and I'm sitting here like playing games and like falling asleep or doing whatever, that's what I start to hear when I close my eyes, and I'm like, ah, it's fucking shit, fuck, what is that? It's horrible.
Yeah. Do you also have people calling your name or like hearing your name out of nothing when you're like super
That's
sleep
more when
deprived?
I'm just like falling asleep. But when I'm sleep deprived, I will hear like weird things. But it
It's
won't be
fucking
like,
scary though.
I think I'll hear things and then like not like properly figure out what they are, or like I'll hear it and then it'll be like somebody, like a car driving outside, but it'll sound like something different because I'm
Yeah,
just
your
sleep
mind
deprived.
amps it up.
Yeah, or it makes it sound like I don't know. I've always like done this like weird thing ever since I was like really young, where like if I hear like a lot of noises, I always hear my name somewhere in it. I don't know why, but
I'm
I
pretty
just
sure
do.
everyone gets that
Okay, so
because that's
You
something
talk to
we're looking for.
snakes?
yeah, I talk to snakes too.
Wow.
My dad's name is Nigel as well. Man,
Damn, that's an old school reference. Only
Is it?
90s babies would get that.
I was gonna
Fucking
say
Harry
that.
Potter.
Fuck, dude. Staying up is actually like the worst thing ever.
You haven't
I feel
gone
like
to
I just-
bed?
No, I did go to bed. I slept for like 4 hours. But
Yeah, I know, but I want you to tell the people that.
What?
He told me that
I
at the
mentioned
start
it
of the
earlier.
podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
you did? Fuck.
when I fucked up the fucking opening.
All right, I think we're done. You gotta go
Are we?
soon, Undyne. Gotta go
Yeah.
eat din. What's for dinner?
Yeah. Andijvie. I don't know the English name for it. It's like a Dutch dish. It's andijvie, which is vegetable mashed with potatoes, and then we eat meatballs on the side. Usually topped
Oh,
with curry
mashed
ketchup.
potatoes and meatballs.
No. It's mashed potatoes mixed with something. I don't know the English word for it. Let me Google it.
What'd you have for dinner last night, Alex?
Endives.
I don't remember.
Fucking rotten brain. Who rotten brain here?
Me?
Me.
Me. Roll call for brain rotting. Such a terrible.
Smart. It's all the smartphones and energy drinks.
Literally the life of an 8th grader. Smartphones and energy drinks.
Minecraft.
Fucking
Yeah, Endives. I don't know if you guys even know about
Call of
that.
Duty. Know about what?
Cock-a-doodle.
Endives. It's the name of the vegetable mixed with mashed potatoes.
Endives?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Endive. Endive? I don't know.
This looks like shit.
It tastes like shit.
Why are you eating it?
That's why you mix it with mashed potatoes.
So
So
you
it
get some
becomes less,
shit, you
less
throw in
bitter.
some good shit, and then you can eat the bad shit?
Oh yeah, actually I think both of the things are like shit on their own, but then you mix them and they're kind of okay. And then you top it with curry ketchup. It's good shit.
Curry ketchup?
Oh, it's like a European thing. It's like a German product. It's like a spicy ketchup, and it's like delicious. It tastes something like ketchup.
This looks like lettuce. But it looks like disgusting lettuce. It looks like a lettuce that's too, like you're picking the lettuce leaves, or like the branch or whatever, like too early. It's all fucking yellow. Some Belgian endives. This is disgusting. I don't know why you told me about this. Alright, let's wrap it up. What did we learn today, boys?
Don't
We
do
did a lot
drugs unless you're an athlete.
We learned that endives look like fucking testicles. We learned that Alex can't remember what he ate for dinner. We learned that guarana
is not
is
good
better
for you
than
boys.
caffeine, but don't take too much because then you'll stay up all night. And we went over the reoccurring theme that all of our brains are fucking rotten.
Yep.
So usually what we do at the end on Dine is we say boa noite, which is good night in Portuguese, because Harmonica always says it to his family and we harass him about it.
Yeah.
That's our fucking outro until we get like an outro song. Or maybe we can say boa noite and then we can have like a fucking Portuguese song. Portuguese
Boa noite.
song. Alright. Do you wanna start us off, Alex?
Alright. Boa noite.
Boa
Boa
noite.
noite.